Hey everybody, welcome back to another video brought to you by T&S Virtual Farms. This video is going to be a little different than my story-based roleplay videos, however. This is actually going to be a tutorial video, and the tutorial video is going to be about how you add, in this case, small square bales to a baler and a map. This map is Medicine Creek, and the folks who put Medicine Creek together, No Creek Farms, they were kind enough to add Alfalfa to the map already when they released it. So we don't have to worry about adding Alfalfa to this map. Now, if you want to add Alfalfa to a map, Shy Wizard has some great videos about how you go about doing that. And he also has videos about how you add the alfalfa bales to the stock in-game From Giants balers. But this is going to be an episode about how you add alfalfa to mod balers that make bales of other sizes than what Giants has in game, and it's going to be about how you add just the grass bales, the hay bales, the straw bales of balers of different sizes than the stock game. So without further ado, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about and exactly the problem that I faced a few weeks ago that drove me insane until I figured it out. So let's get going. So as I said before, we've got a field here of alfalfa. Now I've already mowed it, I've already raked it up. This row here you see has been tedded, and so it's dry. And so this is going to be alfalfa hay. This windrow right here is still the wet, we'll call it the wet alfalfa. Hasn't been tedded. Like so if you were going to bale silage, for example, then this is what that is. Okay, so let's get going. Just for fun, I've got my Massey Ferguson 390T for this episode, and this is from the Modern Classics pack that's on the Mod Hub. You can find it on the Giants Mod Hub, and I'll put a link to the mod in the description. And back here, this is a baler that I've been wanting to use for a while, and this is the Massey Ferguson 1840 baler. Now, Matt XJS was the creator of the Modern Classics pack, which is where this tractor came from, and Big Farmer 145 is the creator of this baler. And again, I'll link both the tractor, the pack that the tractor comes in, and the baler. I'll put links to the Mod Hub in the description so you guys can go find those if you'd like to find them. Okay, let's get going. We'll get this thing started, and I'm going to show you exactly the problem that I ran into a couple of weeks ago. So let's do this. I come in here, I think to myself, okay, I'm just going to bale some alfalfa. You know, the standard stock round balers that work in the game, the standard, bigger square high density balers, they work. You can bale alfalfa all day long, no problems, right? Let's get this baby set up. We'll unfold her, get her running. And here we go. Let's see what we can do. There we go. Lower the pickup. Okay, so now if you see down at the bottom right of the screen, the fill indicator says alfalfa hay, right? So perfect. We're going to bale alfalfa hay. Here we go. Let's get it. The bale volume of this baler, by the way, is set to 1,000 because it's a high density small square baler. Oh, but wait a minute. What is that? What's that coming out of the baler? That doesn't look like an alfalfa bale. That looks more like a straw bale. Well, you know, it says alfalfa hay on the fill type indicator down there. Let's go see what's going on. First, I'm going to kill my baler. I'm going to kill my tractor so you can hear me talk. Let's get out and investigate this. Let's see here. Wait a minute. Fill type straw. What is going on? Obviously, this is an alfalfa field, if you can see by the ground texture. Obviously, if you guys have played with alfalfa much, this is dry alfalfa texture, right? Well, wait a minute. Let's get back in this tractor. The fill down at the bottom says alfalfa hay, 89% bale. What is the deal? So this is the exact problem that I racked my brain about for at least 10 hours, maybe 15. I don't know how long it took me to figure this out. So you guys stay tuned. I'm about to show you. We're going to get out of game. I'm about to show you what you got to do to fix this problem. All right, everybody. I believe we are back. So let me start this with a couple of caveats. One, I don't play multiplayer. So what I'm about to do may or may not work with multiplayer. I don't know. I don't play multiplayer, so I've never tried. Second thing is, anything you do here to your files, you know, your game files, so to speak, do it at your own risk. If you watch this video a few times and you're still not comfortable with changing the script or, adding things here, adding things there, then just don't do it. Or get a friend that's maybe a little more computer savvy to help you. With that said, if you guys watch this and still have questions, post them in the comments. I'll do the very best that I can to help you guys out. I'll also preface with this. I am not a modder. I don't consider myself a modder. I have tons and tons of respect for modders because there's some awesome ones out there. But I don't consider myself a modder. I consider myself somebody who loves to play Farming Simulator. And when I have problems or when something doesn't work quite like I want it to work, I look for solutions. And that's what I found here. So let's get to it. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our mods folder. Now, I don't know where you guys have your mods folder. I know where mine is. So what we're going to do here is first thing we're going to do is we're going to go find our Baler mod that we're going to work on. And in this case, it's the Massey Ferguson 1840. So let me look through here and see where that's at. Right here, our MF 1840 Baler. And this is an unzipped file. You need to unzip the file before you work on it. So make sure if you run into problems, make sure your file is unzipped first. So we're going to get into this. One thing you're going to see, and this is different than, I think, 17. I know it's different than 13 back when I started playing it, and 11 when I started playing it. But inside the Baler folder, mod folder, you're going to find in this case, it's HD Bales. Most of the time, it's just Bales. First thing we're going to do, we're going to go in here. And what we see here is we've got the bales for grass. We've got the bales for hay. We've got the bales for straw. That's all fine and awesome and dandy, but there is no bale for alfalfa and there's no bale for alfalfa hay. So we're going to make those. And to make those, we're going to use, among other things, we're going to use Giants Editor. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this grass bale and I'm going to open it up using Giants Editor. Now, if you're not familiar with Giants Editor, that is a piece of editing software that's provided free of charge by Giants so people can make mods. You can go to the Giants webpage and you can download this for, I think you gotta, sign up and you can download it for free. Okay, so the very first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna say save as, because what we're doing is we're making a copy, and we're gonna do bale grass. I tell you what, we'll just type the whole thing out. So we're going to call this one, because this bale is going to be the bale that's still the moist alfalfa. It's not going to be the alfalfa hay bale. It's just going to be the moist alfalfa. So this is going to be bale. It's going to be, let's see, bale alpha 100. And we're going to save that. And the reason why I did it this way is because now when we exit out of this, we're going to have, you see in this folder, in our Baler Bales folder, we've got bale alfalfa 100, and we also have the shapes file. So by doing that, we create the new file, the new i3D file, and it creates the shapes file. So that's why I do it like that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the hay bale, we're going to open that in Giants editor. Again, we're going to say save as. That's all you got to do. I'll do it one more time. You come up here to file, and you go to save as. And here we're going to type in bale wow, I gotta spell alfalfa hay 100. Alpha hay 100. Yep, that's it. Okay, we're going to click save. Now when we exit out of this, we're also going to have, not only do we have our alfalfa bale and the shapes file, but now we have alfalfa hay and the shapes file for that also. So there we are good to go. Alright guys, one thing here that I almost forgot to mention is that after you make your bale alfalfa i3D file and your bale alfalfa hay 100 i3D file, what we need to do is we need to open these up and we need to change the fill type for these bales. And so the way I'm going to do that is use Notepad++. So I'm going to right click and say edit with Notepad++. Okay, this is very important because this will not work if you don't do this. So this is the text version of the i3D file. What you're going to go down and do is look down through here, and down here at the bottom you're going to see an attribute. The name of it is fill type. The type is a string. The value in this case is grass windrow, because remember, this is just a copy of the grass bale. So one thing we need to do here is we need to change this. Instead of grass, it needs to be alfalfa. So we're going to change that for our alfalfa bale. We're going to save it. We're going to go, not there. We're going to go back here, and remember this is in our Baler folder and HD bales. So we're going to go to the alfalfa hay, which is going to be our dry alfalfa, which is after it's been tedded. Same thing, right click, edit with Notepad++. So it opens it up here. Now here, if you'll see for the alfalfa hay bale, the fill type is dry grass, which is what we don't want. We want dry alfalfa windrow. So we're going to put this in here and say dry alfalfa windrow, and we're going to save it and move on to the next portion of this. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go back into just the Baler folder, the mod Baler folder. We're going to go to the Baler mod description. We're going to open that in a program called Notepad++. And this is another shareware program. You can just Google Notepad++, and you can go and download it for free. If you do any scripting, if you do any modding at all, or any just tinkering like I do, this is an awesome program to use to edit things like the i3Ds or the XML files. as a matter of fact, I'll put a link in the description for Notepad++ and for the Giants editor for you guys that don't have them already. Okay, so the only thing we're really interested in the mod description folder is right here, bale types. We're going to add the alfalfa and we're going to add the alfalfa hay bale types to this file. And so what we're going to do is I'm just going to, we'll take this one here. Actually, we'll take both of these. We'll take both of these here, which is the hay bale and the grass bale. So the fill type is going to be, in this case, for the grass type bales, dry grass and the grass. We're going to take these. I'm just going to Control C, and we're going to put them up here at the top. We're going to do a Control V. Okay, so what I've done is I've copied those two. But now what I need to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say for the dry grass windrow, and you need to pay attention here or you'll get the wrong type of bale for what you're baling. For the dry grass, we're going to say alfalfa hay. So now this is connected to that i3D file that we made back in the Bales folder. And here, this is very important. What we're going to put in here is we're going to put dry alfalfa. This, you got to get this, you've got to get this part of it right, or as I said before, you're either gonna get a error in your log file, or it's just not gonna work. But make sure that if you've got your bale alfalfa hay 100 i3D that's referencing that file that we made earlier, that's your dry alfalfa windrow. Okay, that's the fill type that it's looking for. Okay, next, this is just going to be the wet alfalfa bale if somebody ever wanted to bale wet alfalfa bales. Okay, we're going to take the grass part out and we're going to add alfalfa. Okay, and so this references our alfalfa bale that we made. And so here in the fill type, we're going to remove the grass and put in alfalfa windrow. So now, in order to make that bale, it's looking for an alfalfa windrow. All right. So we're going to save that. And now we're going to move on to the map folder. Okay. I'm going to open another little window here. I'm going to go back to my mods folder and open up I'm back in the mods folder, and I'm going to open up the map that I'm interested in adding these bales to. Now, as I said before, we're on Medicine Creek. Where is it at? And again, this is an unzipped folder, so unzip the folder before you try to edit it. So we're going to go in here to Medicine Creek, and you'll notice the first thing up here at the very top is Bales. So that's probably something we're going to look at. We're going to open Bales here. Okay, and now here is here's how I did it to differentiate, to help myself differentiate between the different types of bales. So round bales here, these are obviously round bales. Square bales, the data in this folder is for the standard stock Giants high density square bales, the bigger ones, what I would consider a mid-sized bale. That's what that's for. Small square bales is another set of balers that I already added the bales for in this map. But what we're going to do here for this baler, since these are high density small squares, is we're going to create a new folder. And we're going to name that I'm looking at my notes. HD small, no, not caps. HD small square bales. So we're going to call it HD small square bales. Okay. So we've got that folder. We're going to open that folder. It's empty, of course, because we just made it. Now here's what we're going to do. Since I want to add all the bales that this baler makes, in addition to the alfalfa bales, also, I'm going to go back over here to my baler mod file, the one that we were working in first, mod folder, the one we were working in first. I'm going to go back into my HD bales folder, and I'm going to grab all of these. I'm just going to copy them, and I'm going to move them over to the HD small square bales folder that we just made in our map folder, bales folder. Okay. All right. So next thing that we're going to do is we are going to add, we're going to go back here a couple of folders, and we're going to look down here in the maps folder. And again, this is under the main folder of the map that we're working in. So we're in this case, we're Medicine Creek, we're mod folder, Medicine Creek, maps, and we're going to scroll down here, and there's going to be XML file called maps underscore bale types. We need to open that, and we need to add some stuff to that. Okay, so in this case, here is all the extra bales, the extra round bales. You can see here it's bales, round bales. These are all the extra bales that the map author already added to the map. So you can see we've got dry alfalfa, we've got alfalfa. You can bale corn stalks on Medicine Creek. You can bale soybean straw on Medicine Creek. And these three bales are, I believe, for the larger round bales that like one of the John Deere balers, those big round bales. That's what these are. These are not, I don't believe these are the stock like 4x4, 4 foot by 4 foot bales, the little ones that most of the Giants round balers make. Okay, so the next thing is these are some small squares that I have already added to this map for some other balers. Okay, and this down here, these are the square balers. These are the square bales that the stock Giants, what I'm going to call mid-size square balers make. So as you can see, that even though they're the stock Giants balers, the map author still had to add the bale for alfalfa, for dry alfalfa, for soybean straw, and for corn stalks. So here's what we're going to do in this folder, or in this file. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create myself some space right here, and now I'm going to go back again to my baler folder in my mods folder. This is the one for the baler again, and we're going to go back to that mod description, and we're going to open that up, and we're going to copy, because I want to add all these, because this is a different kind of bale. This is a small square bale. We're going to add all of these. We're going to not only add the dry alfalfa, the alfalfa, but we're also going to add the straw. We're going to add the dry grass, which is like hay, and we're going to add the grass, which would be like a silage type of a bale if you wanted to wrap it. Okay, so we're going to add all these. So we're just going to grab all these, and we are going to Control C, and we're going to take these over, and this is another tab that's already open up here. Okay, we're just going to Control V, and we're just going to copy those straight in. Okay, but that's not the only thing that we have to do here, because what we have to do is we have to change the file name right here. We got to change, we got to update the path, because we don't want it to go look here. We want it to go look in our, we want it to go look over here. We want to look in this Bales folder inside the Medicine Creek, in this case, inside the Medicine Creek folder. We want it to look inside Bales, and then we want it to look inside HD small square Bales, because this is where we put our Bales. Remember, this is where we copied and pasted our Bales from the Baler folder. Okay, so in order to do that, we need to say, we need to add this here, Bales / HD small square Bales. And so that will get our file reference updated to where it needs to be. So Bales, let's make sure I spelled everything right. Bales HD small square Bales. Okay, perfect. So now instead of typing all that stuff again, I'm going to grab this part right here. I'm going to Control C to copy. Get this here. I'm going to Control V. So that's updated. I'm going to Control V. That's updated. I'm going to Control V, highlight it, Control V. That's updated. We're going to highlight, Control V. And again, guys, I'm not a Notepad++ expert. I just know how to do the things that I need to do. Some of you out there that are, you know, masters at scripting are probably cringing, but you know, I'm just getting the job done, basically. Okay, now very important here, we need to save. Notice in Notepad++, if it's not saved and there's been a change made, this little disc here, it's red. As soon as you save it, it turns blue. That way you know if something's saved or if it's not saved. Okay, now with that, we should be good to go. And so I'm gonna go hop in the game and check for errors, make sure everything's good to go, and get right back to you. Okay, and as we get this going, one thing I do want to say is that when you're trying new things like this, you're editing mods, you know, whatever, you're updating things, you're tweaking them to be how you want them, I would recommend starting a different save game. So I have my primary save game here, which is my Ouachita Valley, which is where I make all my role-playing episodes. I've got it here, and I don't mess around, fool around with it much. Okay, and then I've got a couple of other save games that I've played a little bit. Now over here, this is like my test bed. This is my proving grounds saved game. So if you're gonna go messing around with mods and things like that, that's what I would suggest. Try them in your proving grounds save game before you try loading them into your primary save game, because the last thing I want to happen is somebody who has, you know, 20,000 hours in their save game and they try to make a change to a mod or whatever, and it messes up their save game. So just words from, I guess you could say, the wise, because I've messed stuff up before and paid the price. Just a little food for thought for you there. Well, we'll hop in here once this gets loaded and we will give this a shot. All right, everybody, who is ready to bale some alfalfa? Let's do this. Let's go here over to field 18. We're gonna hop in our 390T, start this baby up, start that baler, get an outside view. Let's make sure our pickup is down, and let's bale some alfalfa. As you can see, our last straw bale is still right there at the end of the bale chamber. And as you can see, the color of the bale has already changed. But let's go take a look at one of these bales, because the proof is in the pudding, so to speak. We're gonna hop out of here, Let's go back here. What does this say? Oh, what was that? What was that? I'm sorry. Alfalfa hay. Yes, folks, we're baling alfalfa hay with the Massey Ferguson 1840 high density small square baler. Awesome. You want more? I want more because I love to bale hay. Let's finish up this dry alfalfa. We're going to hop over on that other windrow and we're going to bale some pre-tedded or high moisture alfalfa, whatever it is you want to call it. Let's do this. Gonna pick up our pickup. It's kind of fast. Slow her down a little bit. Okay. So now, if you'll notice down in the right-hand corner, what we've got in our bale chamber currently is alfalfa hay. Put our pickup down. Now we just finished the last bale of alfalfa, and now alfalfa hay, and now we're baling alfalfa. So here in just a second, you should see a color change in the bales, and it's going to be slightly darker. So I think right there at the end of the chute is our last alfalfa hay bale, and this one coming off right now is going to be our first alfalfa or high moisture alfalfa bale. So let's get out and check this thing out. What does this say? Does it say grass or alfalfa? Boom, alfalfa. All right, folks, that's all I've got. We're going to have a part 2 of this video, and we're going to be adding a different size bale from a different size baler to this map, and we're also going to make it bale alfalfa. And so stay tuned for that. I'll put a link to that video or a little suggested video box or whatever up right at the top right hand corner. Guys, if you like this video, if it has helped you, please leave a comment, because that just helps me and gives me, I guess, inspiration to know that I've helped somebody. And that's really what it's all about. I want to make playing computer farming great again. So if you are into role-playing type farming simulator videos, please go check out my Washita Valley Farms playlist and get on that series. It's pretty fun. It's been a lot of fun to make. But guys, this is it for now. Stay tuned for part 2, and thank you very much for watching.